So we going to practice. Going to practice every day, and that's it. We've been in situations like this before. We've been in tough situations, and the reality is we got a game to play in 2 days, so in Buffalo. So that's where our focus is at.
When someone who's only here for 3 weeks starts questioning the accountability of guys that he no longer plays with, and how much validity is there, and how much credence do you give?
I don't know. I can say, what Orlando said about me is probably accurate. If I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have said that. But basically what I was trying to say, even say to myself, is just be a more disciplined football team. And as far as everybody else, I guess they can answer for themselves. But, yeah, it's we're in a predicament with 3 and 4. But ultimately, like I was telling them, we got Buffalo this week.
How much of that stuff has been hashed out over the course of this week? You talk about guys coming into meetings, accountability, stuff like that.
It's just been, another week of practice. Obviously some things have been talked about, but moving forward, it is what it is. We got games to play, and ultimately, a lot can be said about winning them.
Does it bother you that someone was in the locker room and then would leave the team and sort of trash you guys on the way out like that?
I'd say I'm not surprised, but hey, it is what it is. When Orlando was here, he was fine with me. I thought he was a good dude, but ultimately, it is what it is. I have no ill will towards him. As far as our focus, we got to go beat Buffalo.
Have you ever had a week like you've had the last 2 or 3 weeks in this locker room with all this noise surrounding the team?
Yeah. Hell, this is Philadelphia. Hell yeah, I've had it.
But Lee, in this case here, this wasn't an example of one of us saying something about the locker room. This was a guy who was in here with you guys. Do you put more credibility or credence in what he said because?
I put, in terms of what he said about me, I'll speak for myself. Obviously, probably those senses I like to have back. But basically what I was trying to say is just, we have to be a more disciplined football team. But other than that, ultimately the reality about the situation is we got a game in 2 days, and moving on to Buffalo, and a lot can be solved, by winning games. So a lot of winning can do a whole lot. So that's where our focus is at.
Look, I really give about people who ain't here. A lot of it was, you ask anybody in the locker room, who I am as a player, who I am to this team. I think one of the things he said is I didn't take accountability for certain plays, which if anybody goes and looks at any of my comments, I immediately take credit for all of the mistakes I make. And so, for us to move on as a team, we can't have like that in the room. And so for us, I think it's exciting. We've had a good week of practice. We feel good about the guys we got in the locker room and what we're trying to move forward with, everybody taking their roles serious. And, that's what we focused on.
One of the assertions was that you're a selfish player. Do you feel like there's any validity to that?
Man, my record speaks for itself. Everybody knows what I do for this team, what I do for everybody in this locker room, how much time I put into this. I won't even waste my effort with that.
Malcolm, he said that there were leadership issues on this team in general. He said
the 12-year vet said there was leadership issues?
He did.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. That's yet to be seen.
What are you seeing from the team this week?
I thought we had great energy. I think, obviously coming off a tough loss, you got 2 decisions. You could either, implode, or you can get better. We had a lot of internal conversations, a lot of tough conversations. I think the leaders are putting it upon themselves to set the example. You got guys, starters taking reps on the scout team to give each other good looks. Guys are having energy in practice. So I thought, this is probably one of the best weeks of practice we've had all year. Obviously kind of put it into our own hands and make sure we turn this around.
You said that you haven't had really players-only meetings since you've been here. Did that change this week?
Yes.
How was what can you tell us about maybe the tone of that?
I'm not going to talk about, what was said, but, I think at the end of the day, the guys in this locker room trust one another. We believe in one another. It's just about everybody detailing their role and doing their role on the team to the best of their ability. And I think we wholeheartely believe if we do that, we're good enough to win.
Do you feel like it was an effective strategy this week to have that meeting?
I think, it's not – we look at the grand scheme of the season, it's not we're far from, being out of anything. In fact, we're worse off probably last year. It's just, with all the expectations that came with this team, and obviously all of the noise and all of the outside, things, I think it's an opportunity for us to just hunker down, really, just engage with the guys in this room, get our focus back on the guys in this room and what our roles are. And I think, the meetings that we've had have been productive. The conversations players are having one to another has been productive. And like I said, it's been a good week of practice.
Do you think all three phases of the defense are on the same page, linebackers, secondary, defensive line, at this point?
I don't think we were ever, off page. It's not like we were having, blown assignments or anything. There's a couple here or there, but really it's just about, one guy getting out of a gap or, X, Y, Z. It's just lack of execution. And I think there's been turns where it's been up front, it's been linebackers, it's been the secondary. So for us, it's about how do we more consistently play together where we're all on the same page, all on the same accord, where the scheme is putting us in positions with the guys we got out there to have success. So that's a collective effort from every player out there to coaches and all. And I think guys have done a good job of grasping their role in that and taking ownership of their role in that. And so we'll see.
As one of the leaders on the team, Malcolm, how much does it bother you that there was someone here and who had those opinions in your in your secondary room and then went out and voiced them?
I think the most frustration is, when you go to battle with somebody, you see them face to face every day. We're all grown men. If you got something that's on your mind, go ahead and say it. We got that open dialogue here. I know I'm not afraid to say something if I got an issue. I would hope my peers had the same respect. But at the same time, to know now that that's kind of what was in your locker room, it feels good to know that it's not here. And anybody that we have in here, we want to make sure that we have each other's back. It's a family, it's a family. This team is very, very close. So for us, you look around, I think everybody in here can trust one another. We feel like we have what it takes. So yeah, that's what's up.
Malcolm, you've been here a long time, and each year you're considered a leader by your teammates. When you look at this exact group of guys, who do you view as other players on this team that have stepped up and shown leadership?
I think even in this week, I think you've seen Zach Ertz step up, you've seen Brandon Graham step up, Fletcher Cox, Rodney McLeod's another guy. I think everybody's responsible for different aspects of what we do. There's guys who are going to bring energy. Myself, Jalen Mills, Brandon Graham, Zach Ertz. There's guys who, are kind of that calming voice and keeping guys together. That's going to be Carson Wentz, your quarterback, Alshon sometimes, and it's different roles. And I think the more and more we allow each other to be our own selves and own kind of our role on the team, the better we work collectively.
Malcolm, you talked about someone who had those comments about the team no longer being here
Yep.
and how you wouldn't want them here. But there is also likely the person who's behind those anonymous quotes still
We're
being
not
in
worried.
the
We're not
locker
worried
room.
about it. We're not worried about anonymous quotes. We're good. We're moving past all of that. Y'all can make a big deal out of it as you want to, but we wholeheartedly know the guys that we have in this room. We know our own opinions and what we feel about what we're doing, but everybody's bought in and giving what they have for us to win.
But is there a cumulative effect to all this stuff?
Y'all just get to write more stories. That's all. But everything we're doing here is just consistent. We have a process. We stick to preparation in the film room, communicating from player to player, player to coach. We go practice real hard, and then we go compete on Sundays. Nothing changes about that.
Why do things like this happen? Why do they keep
It's Philadelphia. A lot of people. I've talked to players who've come here, and it's like, hey, we want to be a part of the culture. We want to be a part of what happens here. But honestly, not everybody's built for it. And so, for us, being in this market, obviously you guys love to write stories when things are on fire. We lose a game, the house is burning down. And so for us, we just got to ignore all of that and not allow that to creep into the four walls of this building. Because at the end of the day, you guys never strap up and go play a game. We do. We put on the pads. We got to play next to each other. We got to look at each other in the eye every game and know, that I feel good about what I put out there for my own teammates. And I think we have that.
You see, Paul Mountain as a follow-up to that, this wasn't said by one of us.
I know, but it's been a lot. There's been a lot in the media this week, about whatever. All it takes is one, inkling of divide or one player seeming to be, unhappy or frustrated, and then the whole house is burning. And so, I think that's more on us for even allowing some of those things to be seen, and we'll keep more of that in house. But for us, we're good.
So with Orlando's assertion, not about you specifically, but that there are accountability issues.
How long was he here?
He was here for 3 weeks.
Oh, that's probably not long enough to know the team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Are you interested to see how the team responds on Sunday
To what?
to losing back-to-back games, to everything that's going on as a whole?
We'll respond just fine. I know that. I'm not interested to see. I know we'll respond.
Malcolm, Doug said on Wednesday that the team was mad. You seem as aggravated as I've probably ever seen you. You mad?
I think everybody's frustrated, you know. For me personally, yeah. I'm not happy with the way we perform as a team. I'm not happy with the way I perform as a player. You know, there's a lot of doubt. We hear it. You know, there's a lot of things, a lot of shots being taken at individuals on the team. And, you know, at the end of the day, you use that as fuel. And so, yeah, I would say I'm mad. I'm upset. But sometimes that's good in this sport.